welcome everyone again to another installment of Hearing Health Insights with APPF. And we bring you exclusive interviews with independent audiologists in South Africa who are members of the Audiology Private Practice Forum. Our goal is to help the public understand more about hearing health and the professionals who play a critical role in offering you these services. So today we have the pleasure of chatting with Bronwyn Hein, who is an audiologist in Ballito. And the first thing I wanted to ask you, Bronwyn, is can you share with our listeners what inspired you to become an audiologist and how your journey led you to work as an independent audiologist in South Africa?
Thank you, Cara and Sabran, for having me on. I think part of, to be honest, so many people don't know what audiology is about, and going into university, I don't think I really knew exactly what I was getting myself into. For myself, it was really a God-ordained profession that was chosen for me. And from the day that I started studying and being at university, I just fell in love with the embryology of audiology and just the formation and the amazement around everything and how it's created. And we joke and say, like, you can be passionate or you can be an ear nerd. So I think those are the terminology I'd use for myself. So yeah, just being with people, seeing restoration of life and being able to communicate and connect with people.
So Bronwyn, you are really good at diagnosing hearing loss. And so someone from the public is watching this and they're thinking either they self are interested in maybe getting a hearing test, or they know of someone that they think might have hearing loss. What are some of the typical signs and symptoms of hearing loss? If somebody's watching this, some guidance that you can give to know when to make an appointment with you.
So I think we have an array of different clients that come and see us. So from a pediatric side, I think if parents are noticing that their children are not meeting their language milestones and their speech milestones, balance is a concern for them. They're not reaching age-appropriate milestones, and they're crawling and they're walking. For adults, I would say a lot on the North Coast or our area of water not draining out of your ears. We have a lot of surfers and canals and a lot of wax conditions and concerns that a lot of people have that are preventable, and audiologists can assist with that. Our general one is people are mumbling and it's everyone else's fault that they feel that, yeah, the things are not clear, or they can't hear in background noise. It's very common. And I think in our younger population, neural fatigue after conversations or meetings is really important to address. Even as adults that have gone undiagnosed with auditory processing difficulties, and even helping from an attention side, and tinnitus, ringing in your ears. If you notice that, or any type of sudden hearing loss, is very important with all of the viruses and flus and COVID that we have going around.
I see that you have a keen interest on pediatrics, and that's always very nice to meet other audiologists who have a keen interest on pediatrics and working with the younger population. But it's also quite obvious that you have a passion for audiology in general and for helping the general population. Can you share a heartwarming success story or a particularly memorable experience from your career that highlights the positive impact of audiology on someone else's life?
The person that comes to mind is actually Maria, that you now see. She's a beautiful, trendy young lady. She was born deaf. She's amazing at how she even coped without hearing aids. She's one of the most phenomenal people I've met. Just her life journey and going from wearing really basic analog devices from when she was younger to hearing aids, best technology hearing aids, going on the journey of just being like, you know, this is something that with a profound loss, you can do so much better than this. And working with her family on convincing them that it was going to be okay, and what a great success, and how her life would change moving forward from hearing aids to a cochlear implant. I think just we are lifelong friends. We still see each other, and the change of how just moving into those steps and walking through those processes that are scary with patients, it's just changed her life, and also changed their marriage, and yeah, just her life, her quality of life in general.
Many audiologists may be part of a group where they are prescribed how they should perform their different day-to-day tasks. I just want to know from you, what inspired you to be an independent audiologist? And if you can maybe share with us the value that you see in being an independent audiologist.
It's really great to be able to have exposure to world-renowned hearing healthcare and products, and not be limited. Not be limited to a brand, not be limited by what another organization may orchestrate what you can and can't do in a certain amount of time. I really find that independent audiology has allowed us to be specific about attending to a patient's needs and that person in front of you, and not necessarily the aim being to prioritize on profit or selling hearing aids, because a hearing aid is not necessarily the only solution for a patient or what they need. It might be part of a solution. So I think exposure to products, and then just more holistic treatment of how we should really care for our patients and be on a journey with them, not just make a sale.
Following from what you've just said, what do you think, or what do you see with your patients with regards to the common misperceptions that the general public has on hearing loss and hearing healthcare, and how can we change those misconceptions?
One of the biggest misconceptions is that just by buying a hearing aid that solves everything, which is not the case. It's just, I always say to my patients, it's like a marathon. It's a gym workout. You lift a little, then you lift more, then you get better. And just changing that perception around, it's not the hearing aid that the value's on. It's about the service that a correct audiology that's offering best practice actually offers, and how you can move forward in your audiological journey. I think also hearing aids are expensive, or I can't afford it, is also a misperception. And also that I think a lot of people perceive that they can't spend money on something that they haven't tried, which trials are definitely available. We trial devices for every person. We give them numerous options. Or a patient would say, I've tried a hearing aid and it didn't work. Well, not everybody drives a BMW, so maybe you need to look at Volvo, or maybe you need a Uno. Maybe that's better for you. So there's lots of different, there's a lot more perseverance, I think, when it comes to finding the right solution for a patient.
Can you maybe share with us, someone is also watching and they're thinking, you know what, I am struggling in background noise. In the presence of background noise, I'm struggling to identify speech. Maybe they're also experiencing tinnitus. Just a brief insight, specifically in the last couple of years, research that came out to show the real importance of early diagnosis of hearing loss and how that relates to cognitive health.
We're being amazed by how much more research is just coming through on this more and more. Even when we started, we were aware of it when we first qualified, but it's amazing to see how, the actual patient cases and how this is being changed, and people are having better quality of life and also better results in their cognitive functioning as they age. So I think the misperception again is that hearing loss, you only wear a hearing aid when you're old. And we've seen studies, and we have information that prove to us about the neural stimulation and how wearing hearing aids actually aids to cognitive processing and stimulation to avoid decline in short-term memory, and even leading on to prevention of dementia in patients that you may have preconceived hereditary reasons that lead you to being more susceptible to dementia. That hearing loss can aid and actually worsen. That wearing devices and stimulating those areas of your brain really can set us up for how we want to do life as we age, and being the best version of yourself as you get older.
Bronwyn, I'm going to ask you one last question, and the question is about the latest research in audiology. What do you think is the most promising research developments in audiology at the moment that are really exciting you?
I would say definitely what we've discussed now with regards to cognition. I'm really enjoying more insight into devices that are just more user-friendly, smaller, how engineering is able to fit more into a device for patients just when we think like that's the smallest you could get, it just becomes the engineering around different technology is just changing and getting better and better all the time. So for me, that's really exciting, just on what our engineers have available for us to use as solutions in surgery and in surgical operations, surgical implants, that can really assist patients where a hearing aid is not necessarily their best solution and the most suitable solution for them. So I think there's a lot of progress in maybe more interesting cases and just what solutions we have for people who couldn't hear before, how much better it can change their lives.
Bronwyn, thanks. That's great. Thanks for chatting to us today. We really appreciate it. We hope that this discussion will provide some valuable insight for the public, as well as to the significance of hearing healthcare in South Africa, and also the importance of independent audiology. Thanks for your time today. We really appreciate it.
I just wanted to say for our viewers out there, can you please engage with our videos by subscribing to our channel, liking the video, and leave a comment, or visit our website to find an independent audiologist near you. You can have a look on www.independentaudiologists.co.za, and you can search for an audiologist in your area. You can find Bronwyn there, and you can see all the areas of audiology that she's able to help you in. Thank you so much.